like,
kind of before the speed golf thing, I didn't use social media for anything but keeping up with college buddies. So I'm still trying to figure out what works. But it is amazing that you win the U.S. Open and you get 1,500 views, and you do this silly snow video and 1.2 million, which really helps with everything, with followers and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to be a little more creative with my content, because just being good at something isn't good enough on social media.
Yeah.
Wait, the resume.
You're gonna have to start it off.
I know. I've never had a significant other or wife or husband, equal opportunity here, as a guest. So I'm almost fumbling at looking at this incredible,
that, but that's okay.
incredible resume here that goes on for 2 pages. I know Morgan was quite terrified. What was the comment, Morgan? I don't have a mic for you over there, but what was your comment?
I've never felt more like a nobody.
I never felt more like a nobody coming from Morgan Malnicki over there. World record holder. Do you still hold it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, it does. There's no end date. Okay, August 2021.
Through present.
Speed Golf Power Rankings currently ranked number 1 in the world. Reigning U.S. Speed Open champion, World Speed Golf champion, Japan Speed Golf Open champion, Irish, making your way around the world quite nicely. Alabama, New York, California, all Open champions. Ohio in there. You were on CBS with Dana Jacobson. I mean, NBC Today show with Harry Smith. I'm on page 2, and this keeps going.
I thought resume was
Wall
supposed to be
Street
one
Journal,
page only.
Hamilton College World Record article, Daily Sentinel, of course. But, I mean, damn. Wes, what have you done? Anything?
Cheered her on.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's the support we're looking for.
Lot
Here
of
with
support.
Lauren Steets Cupp. I guess known, I mean, why is the Steets in here? You did the what?
Well, especially around the Hamilton world, where she's an alum.
Oh, okay. We're trying to broaden the base.
And the 07.
Oh, and the 07.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton College. Hamilton alum.
You got it. Hamilton College alum. Still
All right.
there.
Now that I've exhausted, I mean, I didn't even cover everything on this thing goes on. It's really impressive. The true golfer in the Cupp household, but also a coach, which is on top of it impressive.
Well,
so
thank you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for putting up with our bullshit.
Thanks so much for finally having me.
Guest
on
number,
another round.
Guest number 312.
I know, it didn't make me feel that important.
Look, I mean, we don't know what we're doing. We had to build up to it.
Yeah,
you know, we had to get the
practice.
viewership.
We had to
Smart.
practice
Now
on it.
that you have a good fan base,
We had to
you
get
can
a good
invite me
fan
on.
base going. We
Right.
had the requests coming in on the hotline. You just needed to come on. I mean,
thanks for having me. Is what
all
I
right, now
meant
that we
to
got the
say.
sympathy vote over it. No, I mean, what? And this is going to be interesting because having both of you, both in golf, both very bright, active in the communities, athletic. I like to say. I mean, now that I've tooted your horn, what's the? You guys met Speed Golf. I think going back to the beginning of you two. I know we want to get into more of the Hamilton stuff, but people know you guys as speed golfers throughout the community. How did that happen? Like, how did that meet and speed golf thing come together? I need her story because I know that's going to be the true story, and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah, I mean,
You got a lot.
I know it's not some great love story, but tied to golf. I met Wes when I was in college, working at the golf course at Rum Country Club. His mom recruited me as a.
Wait, she was an employee at the time?
Yes, there might have been some
man, the plot
violations.
thickens.
Might have been
Plot
some violations
thickens.
here.
Anyway, yes, we met through golf, through Rum Country Club. But yeah, speed golf we kind of stumbled upon together, I'd say. We just saw a little clip on ESPN, thought it would be fun to try. So we went out with a few buddies after a few cocktails and played, of course, played 9 holes. It was absolutely miserable.
Yeah, it was really hot that day.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
so hot. It was so hard. It was absolutely miserable. I think we had our full bags on we were running with. And then we were like, let's see if there's a tournament we could play in. So we signed up for a tournament and down in Richmond, Virginia, which was really cool. And just drove down there, I think maybe a week or 2 later, and the rest is history.
Wow. So this was early on. This was kind of like in the honeymoon phase of the dating, I guess. That this kind of came about, or
This is actually just after we had Leslie. I think
Okay,
Leslie
so
was
this is a little
maybe
bit-
who's 10 now. It was 6
Post
months
courtship,
old, so
post
close to
marriage,
10 years old.
and
yeah.
then we got into this.
so between finding out. How'd you find out about Speed? It was just like YouTube clip. Is that what I'm getting?
What did we see? An ESPN
There
clip
was
or
it's actually on
something?
CBS one year when speed golf was in its infancy, I guess, in this rebirth of it. They paid for a 30-minute special on CBS
Okay.
that aired right after the Masters. So that was probably almost a dozen years ago now.
Oh, okay.
And someone saw it at the club, Paul Kachmar, and he mentioned it to me. Did you see that? I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So he said to look it up, and I actually did. And I said, yeah, let's give that a go. So that's how we stumbled upon it.
That's awesome. How this just
Little things like that.
little
change
things.
your life.
Yes.
Yeah, you never, some things you strive towards and things just sometimes just land in your lap. And obviously you guys have killed it in that. So the full bags. I remembered you just said full bag. How fun
I
was
think
that?
we did, didn't we? I
Running,
mean, I
like-
think
we
we
had
had
way
our
too
like
much stuff. We had no
full
idea what we were
huge
doing.
golf
research has not been
bags.
done of what you actually need to do to play. You're just like,
Let's
just
try it.
throw
Let's
in-
try to
let's
play
go.
throw
quickly.
the 14 clubs on and just run.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because my brother Josh did it too.
Okay.
That first time, and he just picked up a couple of clubs and ran with them and threw them on the ground like pickup sticks. I'm like, that's got to be a terrible idea. Now I do that half the time. 12
Right.
years
That's
later.
a lot of people do. Yeah, it's crazy.
That almost came full circle talking about the temperature because you guys, when you first tried it, hot day, almost 90, but you broke the record at Tijuca at 90. I mean, it was, that was the day that was like the heat index was over 100, right?
It was
and you just,
miserably hot. In fact, I remember on the 12th or 13th hole thinking, this isn't good because I started shivering. I started feeling really cold on the 12th or 13th
that's
hole.
always a good sign.
Yeah.
That's
It's like, oh,
Oh, this isn't good. But I was able to finish around and
One
make a
under?
birdie on 18 to go 1 under par. So
and I'm just trying to shoot like, maybe under par or even over 4 hours. So great. Glad you guys give us all an opportunity to.
yeah, it was a pretty cool world record round because of all places, Tijuca. I mean, we play some courses that are kind of more meant for speed golf. They're flats. That are a little friendlier around the greens. Like
those are-
Tijuca, you have to wait for like a 10-foot putt to roll out. It takes about 10 seconds, I feel like, because the greens are so quick.
right.
That would be the last place I'd probably guess someone would do.
And though a short
Right.
course,
Something
the
like that.
final final 4
16,
holes
17,
or
18
so can
are
be
the
a
toughest.
bit brutal.
Are the
So they
toughest.
kind of make up for being a shorter course in general. But yeah, I even just walking the back nine at Tijuca is
and you
not
find
fun.
you find at Tijuca too. You have a lot of 4-footers because everything runs out. The greens are so quick.
I don't really think it's funny how you guys it comes down to the second and you don't realize just how much time on the greens you can spend on a course like that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just waiting for it to stop trickling. Stop.
you
Right,
pull
just
from the
stop.
back of 17 going down, you might be waiting 30 seconds before your ball stops.
Yeah, and just hoping it doesn't go off the false front. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for a speed golf course, like 16, 17 especially, like that's kind of cool because the front nine's pretty friendly running wise. Tees and greens are close together, but then you get to the back nine, and then you start building up, and you just know in the back of your head 16 is on its way with that. Going down is almost as miserable as going back
Right,
up.
oh, that
And
run
then
up to the green is-
17 is just an absolute toothache.
Yeah, that sounds
That run
That's fun.
stinks.
So that actually went into a. Is that where the New York Times came in after that win? Right. So
Yeah, Wall Street
that kind
Journal.
of. Oh, it was a Wall Street Journal,
Street
right?
Journal,
Wall Street
right.
Journal. Sorry. Yes. So after that world record win, the Wall Street Journal got picked up on the story and gave you a massive. How cool was that?
That was really, really cool. Yeah, so just shortly after, a week or two after that record, I got a phone call from Jason Gay from the Wall Street Journal, and he was just super, super cool to talk to, spent a lot of time with me on the phone, and then when it came out, I just went to a gas station, a Stewart's, and honestly, the first page I opened up, there it was, a huge picture of me, and I mean, almost a full page article in the Wall Street Journal, and he just did a fabulous job, both showcasing speed golf in kind of a witty, funny way, but that did it justice. So that was really cool and something I was really proud of.
This wasn't an online article. This was like a full blown. I mean, almost full page.
It was
a full page, huge picture. I mean, to be in the printed version also is that means a lot. And
it
that
was
kind of
really cool, and I through that got to meet a lot of really neat people. I mean, the next morning I had 400 emails in my inbox just from people that either wanted to try speed golf, had played speed golf before, Hamilton alums, friends of the college, people that wanted to bring speed golf to their course. So that was pretty neat and a pretty wild few weeks. And then it got even wilder. Then Wes called me and said, "You're not going to believe this, but Harry Smith just called the club from the Today Show, and he wants you to call him back." I'm like, he is totally busting my chops.
I would never do anything like that.
you don't play around at all.
But I called the number. It was Harry Smith's cell phone, not his producer, not his secretary. It was Harry Smith.
So you're dialing what's going through your head?
Who's
And
gonna pick up?
actually? Yeah, sure.
Well, he called the club, and I'm of course working like a dog, like I usually do, and gave him the classic Rome Country Club, and in my sultry voice, "This is Wes. How may I help you?" And this is Harry Smith, which is a very common name. So I'm like, "Harry, you want tea time? What do you need here, buddy?" Give me that pause. Harry Smith from the Today Show.
Who?
No. Like, is that really the guy? Is that his name? And then, so he said, "I just want to call you myself because he told me the story, how he lost a story in Maine about some fishing thing, and because someone else was supposed to call, and they got scooped on it.
Oh, yeah.
I read the Jason Gay story in the Wall Street Journal, and I want to get her in my piece as soon as possible." So I'm like, "All right, I know her agent." And he says, "Okay." And we did it. But back to Wall Street Journal, big shout out, John Clifford photo.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Big John
Yeah,
Clifford photo.
that was the photo.
It's cool opportunities for that, because obviously being a small time newspaper, we get calls occasionally to use our stuff, and it's great exposure for the people, and that's kind of like the big leagues. Like when you get something published or even be in an article of that kind of caliber, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It's really cool. And Harry, what a cool guy. I was able to luckily tag along for he was honest, truly interested in
passionate about it.
And he even showed you up on, what was it, hole 12?
All right, I will say he did have me give him a half a hole head start. So he was to the green by the time I teed off. But that putt he made, and everybody asked me, did he really make that putt? He really made that putt the first time. And he's a really avid golfer.
I'll see if I can tag the video on, or the feature, but it was so cool, because some of these people come in and they act. He was genuinely, he hung out, chatted. I think it was really cool.
Yeah, and he really ran the show too. There were a couple producers there, and then obviously brought a crew. But he ran the show. He had a vision exactly what he wanted it to look like. And
probably because he's so into golf.
Right. He was so passionate about it. And then weeks after, he would text me and ask how I was playing, or ask, I want to try speed golf. How many clubs should I bring? And so he played at his home course in the mornings for a while too, which is pretty cool.
I want to touch a little bit more on just the concept of speed golf, but on the flip side of who's covered you, someone came in the winter, right, and wanted to shoot some feature stuff. Was it from South Korea or?
Yes,
I think it was reposted recently on your Insta or something. What did they not realize it was winter over here? What happened there?
So this is prior to all this, really neat journalism.
Okay.
So this is what, 2019?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, just pre-COVID.
Right, that winter. So 18 into 19, that winter.
Yeah, and
they just showed up. How? The only reason why I saw this, and we can cut it if it's not interesting, but I just saw it recently reposted or something, or you posted something about them trying to shoot in the wintertime a speed golf promo or something. What?
Well, there's a South Korean TV show that was sponsored by a clothing company.
That's a
so
gem.
the whole show was basically just a commercial for their clothing.
Okay. Yeah.
So they wanted teams from all over the world, two-person teams. So the U.S., Australia, UK, and of course quite a few home teams from South Korea to do this show, this reality show. So they asked us to be on it, and we said okay.
But we really knew very little about it, because the way it was translated, and all this was done via email. it to us made it sound like it was going to be this like big competition that we were playing, and we were representing the U.S. And I mean, at that point, before we went over there, we had no idea that it was a reality TV show.
This was leading
we're
up to that trip.
We're thinking,
okay.
all right, this is a tournament we're going to play in, and it's going to be televised.
Right. So it's in April of 19, I believe. So they
Yeah,
let
or
us
18,
know, we want to have some crew come out and film you guys prepping for the tournament or for the show.
In the middle of winter.
And it's January. I'm like, okay, but we're not really doing anything.
And this was the winter.
Maybe
there was
maybe
feet
we
of
could
snow.
we could
I mean,
meet you
feet
in
of snow.
Florida and we could spend
Right.
a few days down there shooting. No,
Sure.
no, we're gonna come to your hometown because we want shots of like your house and like you cooking dinner. So boy, I got a story for
That's
you.
going to be much harder to capture than the golf and the snow.
Like you get some great shots of the microwave. So like no, well we have someone coming in 2 days. So they sent out this poor guy came by himself from South Korea, from Seoul to Syracuse with
no
all this
idea
equipment.
how to get from the airport to where we were.
To
Didn't
shoot
speak
us,
a word of English.
It's like, okay, I need some, and I mean, it's feet of snow. Let's get some shots. All right, so we did all these videos with the drone and with all these different shots, and I mean, for a full day, and doing these little snippets for these 10-second commercials that they were going to run of us speaking Korean that we have no idea really what we're saying or how we're pronouncing it.
Right, so they just kind of say it and then quickly film us so we don't forget what we're saying.
Right.
But again, we don't really know what we're saying. At some point, we're talking about chicken and beer and
And the way that, this turned into a reality TV show in South Korea, because I remember you telling me this, and I'm like, how, like...
well, we get over there and somehow, like, everybody kind of knows who we are because they had been putting up these promos of us playing golf in the
Marketing
snow.
arts people. See, people are like, hey.
It was a really cool, wild, out of body experience. I mean, we fly into Seoul with our huge golf bags, and obviously don't speak the language, and they kind of ship us off to a course 3-4 hours away.
Yeah, on the coast, on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Very close to the DMZ, which is exciting. A lot of barbed wire on the beach.
I was really cool.
My
But yeah, you're
goodness.
mic'd up the whole time, even when you're not playing golf. And they're following you around when you're not playing golf. And I'm like, this seems like more
Trying
than...
to create some battle storylines
Yeah.
and like all
Well,
that
Well,
other
the
stuff.
first
and-
night they have us sitting across from
We have to
the
do a
South
dinner.
Korean team. We've got to have dinner with them. And they're feeding us lines in Korean what to say. And the only thing I can pick up is Trump and number one. And I'm like, this is not good. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm really chirping.
Yeah, we could be starting an international incident here. And we've got no idea. But we're so out of water. We're just like, okay, we're just trying to survive. Like, okay.
Wow.
Yes, we played that. But we kind of felt the matches became a little bit questionably scripted as we went along.
Sure.
So we could kind of tell who they wanted to advance.
Just like the NFL, is it scripted? Is that this? Why they want to win? And
Very
like,
similar. Yes,
you're
very
playing,
similar.
but we can adjust some things.
Yeah.
You don't really see
5
the
minute
time.
penalty there. Yeah.
And
Sure.
and the one day when we get there and there's an ambulance in the parking lot of the
Already. And the first thing in the
of the
morning.
golf course, and they tell us one of the Korean players who's also this big actor, musician,
But a good golfer.
but a really good player, professional player, and ends up being swooped away in this ambulance.
He gets hurt while playing. Great gripping TV.
I mean,
And everybody's
if that's
like,
not a
"Oh my
cliffhanger,
gosh."
Episode 2.
We play our match. We're having lunch, and he walks in dragging his leg. And we're like, "What happened?" Well, he's back and he's won the match.
Yes, he has received medical attention and is now great to win the match.
Wow.
And the whole thing was a clothing commercial, which is the best part.
Yes,
So
but
wide
it was
angle.
really neat. We
So
we
really
were wearing
wild
all these
Korean
like
clothes.
matching wild Korean clothes and shoes.
My
and,
pants might have been tighter than Lauren's. It was really weird.
They were,
Well,
but they liked your
Anyway.
butt.
yeah. This is so funny how I do have a question. Why don't you think this is an Olympic sport yet? If you look at some of the Olympic sports in both summer and winter Olympics, how is this, which is actually a sport and actually physical what is happening there?
Yeah, that's such a great question because I think both of us can agree. Speed golf, it's not for the masses. It's too hard. It's too difficult, but it is a perfect Olympic sport. It really parallels biathlon in that your heart's beating, you're running really quickly, but then you have to use these fine motor skills to putt. So it really parallels biathlon beautifully. So yeah, that's kind of
some
our
of these
big push in
sports
speed
are-
golf.
They love that because they don't like the big sports. A lot of the guys are either in season or gals are in season the major sports, and it's too cumbersome. And you see those sports anyway all the time, so
Yep.
it doesn't really get many eyes. So they're looking for all these different sports, which has happened with the Olympics. They've come up with all these kind of off the wall sports and have adopted them. So that is a major push. I just don't know if we're quite organized enough yet to have the influence to get it in. That's how I would say it.
And
Yes, but it should be.
I would love to see
Teddy and Leslie are going to be
none of the
ready
crazy
for it.
ones are
That's right.
coming.
We'll definitely be too old by that point, but
Some of the crazy ones that are coming to mind. I gotta look it up. But when you look at some of these things, like there's no way that they have that much coverage unless it's just because even in South Korea, speed golf is bigger in general. So it's
Sure,
not like
Japan,
it
it's
doesn't have
huge.
world recognition. So so I guess you're saying it's if it was more organized, had a process, had a thing, it might have a chance to.
right.
Yeah,
It's just so It's so international.
Yeah.
I mean, almost every country plays it at some
Sure.
level, and
Okay.
it's more popular some places than others. But you're right, getting everyone united as a whole and coming up with, rules that are very consistent throughout that kind of thing,
Gotcha.
I think has to come first.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got to look those up, but there's some wild ones that make the
Yes.
Olympics, and you're like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah. You're like,
if this
what?
one can be an Olympic sport, then it's like paper football kicking could qualify at some point.
Yeah, I mean, they got some off the wall sports, which is fun, but speed golf just really checks the boxes, I think.
It
So
does.
Down the line, it's got to happen.
and it's got the speed there. It's quick. You can get it. I will say it's tough to broadcast or to like.
I was just gonna say,
it is tough to
that's-
hold it
capture,
back.
no
You're
doubt about
covering
that.
Well, yes.
You're covering 7,000 yards with spaces. I
Right,
it would
people are
have to-
playing individually. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That is one
Especially
hurdle.
live. I can see you doing a tape delay of it, making it reasonable
Right,
production, but
right.
live, I mean, it's half
But-
the screen like the dots on a course map of where everyone is.
But with the
other
drone
half
work,
is a live shot. I
with
don't
the
know.
drone work now, a lot of the stuff you can put on you would put on a tracker on your hip.
Right, and that's just
you
what
don't
they
even-
do
we've
in
done that.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you go over to Japan, they have the drones that are tracking at least the elite players, and then they condense the whole thing into
Sure.
a 2-hour
Yeah.
event that they can
But
play.
those things feel like bugs around you, though, don't they? The drones?
You feel
like you're
the
hitting them in
first
your
few
backswing.
times you feel like you're going to hit them in the backswing because they come in so close when you're swinging.
Sure.
Yeah, it does take some getting used to.
Has there been any push there? I know there's a USA speed golf. Like where's the sport in general? What do you think it needs next? And like, I mean, it just makes sense to me. It just you do have to have the timing right and the people and the support. Someone's got to write a check for a lot of this stuff. But
Yeah, there's an International Speed Golf Association. I think those are the letters, ISGA, which is a combination of about 10 countries that are
yeah.
doing, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea, Australia, UK, Finland. That's probably the top so many. So they all are in cahoots. This year, the World Championships, which is every 2 years, is going to be in Japan, which is the first time it's been outside the U.S. So the international, contributions are starting to come together, but it's just a slow process. We need that kick in the butt of some big person. We had Bandon Dunes. They were big 7-8 years ago. They put some pretty good money in and held the World Championships out there in Oregon, and gave Speed Golf quite a bit of money. But
Gotcha.
I think that money's long gone by now, so we need another benefactor,
Right.
or some break or some big sponsor.
What is next for you in this? I mean, having all the attention, like NBC, CBS, Wall Street Journal,
Daily Sentinel.
Daily Sentinel. What's next on your radar? You tournaments. We've talked before we came online that you're trying to do something locally again, which was I think fun when it was here, and having those opportunities for people to even play 9 holes just to get into the sport. But what's next on your plate? Like, are you guys traveling? Or I mean, forget you, Wes.
Yeah,
Are you
that's right.
traveling? Or,
I get
what-
the next 2 minutes off.
What's the play? And we'll get into your other professional stuff, but on the speed golf side, what's next?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, definitely would love to play in a lot of different places this summer, this season coming up. As Wes alluded to, it's a big year with the World Championships, which only happen every other year, happening in Japan in November. So everything will be kind of gearing up towards that in November. Looking to make it to Ireland again in early August to go visit my buddy Rob Hogan. I owe him a visit over there to play in his event. He's got a really awesome course lined up for that. So that's exciting. And then I don't know if it's too early to say, but I think it looks like we will be hosting the U.S. Open locally. So that's really cool and will be a really neat thing for the area. Once we confirm some courses and sponsors and things.
That'd be fun because I think you guys are creative in it. It's an opportunity not only to do your own sport, but the way you guys are passionate about it drum up interest. And I mentioned briefly, but when it was at Tijuca, we had a 9-hole kind of like thing for people just to try it. And I think having more of those, like, unless you drum up more interest and like show people that how you can do this and work with your courses to get time, because it is a unique sport that usually people are moving at 2 hours per 9 and this is moving at 20 minutes per 9, right? And how to fit that in. But it's, and as you said, you alluded to it in your interviews that you can play golf in 40 minutes, have the kids taken care of and back at it, and I think that's a cool factor and feature of speed golf where you don't need a 4-hour banger to get in 18 holes and play.
Yeah, and that's really why I got into it. I mean, once you get to a certain stage in your life, you just don't have time for those 5-6 hour rounds anymore, especially if you're trying to stay fit. Certainly don't have time to practice the golf game and run every day, but speed golf is so great because, as you said, I mean, in an hour, you've got your workout and 18 holes of golf in. How awesome is that? And so that's something that I really try to promote, and that's really important to me, especially for women, getting women into golf, working women that are moms, that would love to play golf on the weekends, but just don't feel like they have the time. Speed golf is a great avenue for that. And it doesn't have to be playing 18 holes at this super like elite level where you're sprinting in between and playing in competitions.
I'll
it doesn't have to be that.
You can do
it can
your
just
own
be
version, your own pace.
Sure, it can just be with a push cart and 7 or 8 clubs, moving a little faster, not taking as many practice swings, not overthinking, just getting to the ball, being an athlete, swinging the club, and keep on moving. So I do think it's a really good avenue. We've talked a lot about the competitive side of it, but it's also a really good avenue for getting, women, children, juniors into golf.
So on the practice side, a question because you're the coach men's and women's golf at Hamilton College. Have you ever had your teams play speed golf to get out of the mindset of thinking over something too long and just hitting the damn ball?
Yeah, I mean, we have done some speed golf. We have an amazing outdoor facility at Hamilton, which allows us to do a few holes in that manner. So we can certainly do that, especially on the cold days in the spring. It's great for a warm-up. But beyond that, I do really try to coach a lot of the things that I've learned through speed golf that have made me a better regular golfer. I try to teach a lot of those to my athletes because that's a big barrier, especially at our level, is the mental part of the game. And in college golf, you are competing, qualifying all the time during the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you
can't really ramp up. You're like hitting the ground running.
You are just doing it all the time. Yeah. And there really is benefit to just being an athlete, hitting the shot, and not getting wrapped up in the numbers. I mean, we're very fortunate at Hamilton. We have some amazing indoor facilities with TrackMan and Foresight, which are awesome. They're really great tools. They're great for making swing changes over the off season. But man, you can get so wrapped up in the little numbers, the little parameters that you lose a sense of what you're actually trying to accomplish, which is to get the ball in the hole in the fewest amount of shots.
Keep the ball in front of you, and
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lack of vying for perfection with each swing, I think, is what I learned from speed golf. Which is ironic because actually a poor shot in speed golf is more penal than regular golf because not only is it
Adding distance and everything.
adds time and your score, it's
Yeah.
actually worse. But you don't have time enough for your head to get twisted
Caught up in
about
it.
it.
Yeah.
You're just moving on as fast as you can to the next shot and figuring it out.
Right. And I find I make a lot of pars in speed golf, because you're not always trying to hit the perfect shot close to the pin. You're just trying to keep it in front of you.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep it straight. And it's just one good shot.
You're
that
right. Your
makes
targets
par.
almost open up because I feel like when you're 150 in or whatever it may be, you're looking at a couple inch hole. But when you're speed golfing, you're actually looking at like a 10-yard box or something that's easier to hit.
Let me get this thing on the green, two putts, and get out of here.
Right.
Get
exactly.
out of here.
Yep.
But in speed golf too, you're also playing with five clubs. It's forcing you to learn a slew of yardages
Yes.
and if you apply that to a 14-yard bag, a 14 club bag, it's crazy. Of automatically you're like, oh, I mean, I know you and your 9-iron that can be. Have 10 different yardages
Right,
and
that's
stick to it. I mean,
yes,
that's pretty.
and that's one of my favorite parts about speed golf is it really makes you think creatively.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in regular golf, you can, I hit my 8-iron this far, my 9-iron this far, but in speed golf, you have to know how to hit so many different shots with the same clubs.
Trust the feel and hit the thing.
Yeah, it does. It helps you. It helps you to be creative.
Sure.
Well, with your irons and right around the greens too.
So I touched on Hamilton College. Where you have other positions there. You're still a full-time professor.
Yes, associate professor
There
of
it is.
physical
Okay.
education.
All right.
Thank you for asking.
Very fancy.
No.
What's your title there? What are obviously you're the coach there, but
Yeah, so
what's the
I'm
gist
the
there?
head coach of both the men's and women's teams and associate professor of physical education. And I'm really fortunate. I've got a really great gig there. It's so much fun. It's an amazing community. I get to coach and work with amazing student athletes, both on my team and in the classroom, which is the golf facility and the gym. But
what a scam! How do you get that
Well, she
gig?
just did her annual review, so this is all very fresh to her.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, no, and it's
Pass with flying colors.
Yes, no, it's really a great gig, and it's been really rewarding. I've been with the women's team since its infancy. I started the women's club team when I was there, running track and field and playing volleyball, and it was a club sport at that time. When I first started coaching, I was just trying to get 5 girls that could finish 18 holes.
Now look at you.
And-
Did you see the rankings
I missed the rankings
for the women's?
No,
Tell us.
Are you on the
Tell us
radar?
what's
And
happening.
now we are ranked number 6 in the country out of over 320 teams.
Oh wow!
So
So this
it's,
isn't just
This is the women's program, right?
This is the women's program,
I mean,
and
starting from nothing, without having a team, to now 6
And when
in the
did you
polls.
first start that? That was
oh, now you're
10
going to
years
make
ago?
me age myself. Yes, the women's team has been a varsity program for just over 10 years.
okay.
But yeah, we've come a long way,
yeah.
and it's been really exciting, really rewarding. We have a very young group. We have 6 freshmen from all over the world, from Australia and China and all over the United States. This group of 6 women, and then we also have a sophomore, Peyton Sickle, that last year was the first women golfer to ever make it to the NCAA championship. So that made history last spring. So that's been a pretty cool ride. And I think what's next for them is a team berth to the NCAA, and I think we could perform pretty well there. And our
Which was
men's
just
team,
missed recently, wasn't it? Or was that no? The men's team has been there a couple times
and
though, right?
our men's team's been really great. Last year we had our best season in history. We were ranked, finished the season ranked number 1 in the Northeast region, and ranked number 1 in our league, which is most competitive D3 conference in the country. We've also got now sophomore, then freshman on our team, Ramon Gonzalez, who's from Spain, and just a next level good player who was on the all freshman team, all region team, NESCAC Player of the Year, NESCAC Freshman of the Year. So that was pretty cool too. So he's got almost 3 more years left. But our men's team's come a long way too, and we're ready for another another NCAA appearance, hopefully this spring.
So the women's are about 10 years old, but the men's has been around.
Around a really long time.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep, a really long time. But when we traveled to the national championship in 2022, that was the first time we had been there in over 20 years. It's very competitive.
Gotcha.
It's pretty tough to make, and that was a really neat experience. Fun fact: this year the NCAA championship is being held in Vegas, so the guys are really hoping to get there. I don't think if we go, it'll be the Vegas.
Any assistant coaches? Any way I can help?
Vegas experience they're hoping for, but they really want to get there.
I'm a terrible caddy, but I can make it fun.
Pretty cool, like desert golf destination. So
Yeah, I think recruiting is so difficult. I know I tease Lauren because she spends so much time on it, but it's tough. You have no scholarships, but you have to recruit great players.
Yeah, that's right.
But the academics it's so rigorous. The school to get into the school, the scores are unbelievable.
yeah, and that's the challenge.
What's your average SAT or ACT? I know those are test optional these days, but I mean.
Yeah, we're around 15, 20 for SAT.
I mean,
33, 34 for ACT.
And you have to shoot
and perfect
69.
grades.
You know, it's
so finding the perfect fit is really difficult because I don't know. I always have three things that I'm looking for. The first is a good fit for the family. That's the most important. And then academics are second. If they don't have the academics, the rest is not important. But then the golf is really important too, because if you don't recruit great student athletes, you don't have any success.
And I guess that is tough because when you're scoring that high, Stanford comes to mind. For like some of these golf programs on the West Coast,
that's tough to get into, right?
Yeah. So what's the main draw? Like what's the winning factor when it comes to Hamilton in recruiting some of these people? Like what's the
superior coaching.
I mean,
that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say the speed golf thing has helped a little bit because people know your name in the golf community internationally.
And you're active in playing, and that's part of it.
Right, which is certainly part of it. And especially coaching a team that's of the opposite gender, you do have to have. I feel I have to have success playing. And so that part of my life is important for me to keep up, number one, because I love it, but it is something that's important in the recruiting world. But
that's an interesting point. So you feel like the women's team wouldn't care if you're a golfer or a bowler, but you feel like the men's team would give you more...
Yeah, I think both, I think it's important for both, but I
disagree.
No, I can see that.
I've never really thought about it before,
but I think I would be the same way. If I'm sitting with a family of a male prospective golfer, I will 80 to 90% get the question, whether it's from the recruit or from the parent, what's your playing experience?
Can you break 100?
What have you done lately? Of course, what I want to say is I'll play you for $1,000 a hole. But what I do say is yes, I have this experience.
Right now. We don't want to get to the choo-choo right now.
So it's but it is something that's important. But
probably know you from social media and some stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I
compared to other coaches that are recruiting them, you might.
Yeah, you're active, a little
more in touch with them.
Yeah, I can
absolutely.
See that.
And I will say we have a great product at Hamilton. I mean, I'm selling a really great product. We have amazing facilities. I don't know of any other Division III program that has an outdoor facility, $1 million facility like we do. Great indoor facilities, obviously an amazing education community. So we do have a lot of things going for us that are very attractive for somebody that wants to continue their education in a very rigorous setting, but that also wants to excel and get better on the golf course.
What I want to know is why don't you have a facility at RCC, Rome Country Club? I mean, I feel like you could get so many women in the game. You should have your own platform. Your team could come play RCC. Where's the support from a home?
Lauren Cupp Golf Academy?
Yeah,
Academy.
But I'm serious. I mean, I think the attraction of women golfers you could have, and not only just for the area but for the region, I think would be pretty massive. I know Morgan would go for a couple swing.
Morgan, would you go? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's one.
Okay, we're off to a heck of a start.
We're off to a good start.
But in like all these people that reach out to you in social media, I don't see. I mean, where's the business guy over here? How can that be? How is that not being? How are you not using your wife right now for the revenue? I mean, jeez.
You can just hire a nanny and everything will be perfect.
I mean,
All right, now this is sounding more appealing now.
now she's in.
but I mean, I joke, but I think that's a. I feel like a lot of these people that gain momentum just have this other stream, which could be a huge recruiting tool too. I mean, people that. How many women in the field have a place where you call up or you can get this next level experience and guidance? I mean, people pay for that pretty good in the men's side of things. And you got a great facility right by your house there. And
yeah, as we're starting to learn from our kids playing hockey and basketball. Yeah, camps and all that stuff are very popular these days.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you could start there, but I think even just in the adult world of your following, you say that you're putting up a clinic for 10 people for a week or something like that. No way that thing doesn't fill out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait, in tiny homes along the fairways and rent those out for the camp.
all right, this is about her, not you. I don't disagree.
The real estate guy.
Can we get zoning on the board?
But
here, on the phone here?
I just think there's like I think this is a wonderful time for golf in general, and I also see the uptick in women's golf. It just at Tujica, I've seen it just in general on the main track. You have Lexi. Was it Lexi that played for the first time in a men's?
Yeah, she played
pretty
well.
cool.
I mean, I just see like there's this momentum, and whether it's speed golf, whether it's regular golf, I just think you have a 10-year block here before it goes either up or down.
Right.
And
Nothing ever stays the same.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always
Yes.
going
No,
up or
no
down.
doubt
I
about
just
that.
you ever
No, I
thought
think
about
that's
it.
I
mean,
think that's a great idea. It's just
I'll take a low percentage for that idea.
just finding the time. Yeah, just finding the time. But it's a
you're
neat
not busy.
idea.
Yeah.
We didn't bring these golf clubs in for nothing.
Wes made me bring these, by the way. This was not my idea to carry them through the Sentinel.
I thought
The old Sunday bag.
I thought of what's in the bag might be fun.
what's in
Because
the
people
bag?
are like, what clubs do you bring?
all
What are
right,
you doing?
I'm all for it.
So I'm going to hand it over here.
I like it. Can I get a nip too? Or I got.
Yeah.
We got 10 more minutes here. I want to go with. Oh. Are you sponsored by Garmin by any chance? Bushnell.
Bushnell.
No, but I'd like
goes
to
that
be.
one.
I'd like to be. Okay.
Ooh,
I
wait a minute.
actually have something in here that I haven't even taken the sticker off. I just got this baby
Oh, what are we playing?
a day or two ago. So I've got the new
It's got a
Titleist driver.
Let's get a couple.
Oh, this is. Oh, they gone sleek. There's nothing on the
Aye,
bottom
pretty
there.
nice,
I mean, this
right?
is.
So I'm really excited. I've hit this in the simulator a few
thank you,
times. Yeah, I'm really excited to try this.
So
guy.
what is
But
it?
yes,
What's the
I
model? What do
bring-
we gotta get it all the way through here.
Yeah, I've got the TSR2 here.
I mean,
10 degree.
you'd be surprised, but people are
fifth
gonna be
shaft.
asking.
A lot of techies out
A lot
there.
of techies out there.
Yeah.
She still
It's
still
more-
has the film on. You can see the dimples. It was hit a few times in the
A
simulator.
little
but
on the outside there,
was that
but
you, or was that your sister?
Just off the toe.
We're blaming,
Yeah.
we're blaming
But-
Katie.
yeah, blame Kate. There's a reason I didn't take this off when other people were hitting it. But
The old shit
yeah, no,
mark
I'm
off
really,
the top of the
I
driver.
am really excited about this new Titleist driver. I really like their clubs. I like the look of it, like the sound of it. So
All right, for the professional websites out there, she's got a AV Series 55 Flex, regular Flex. She's got a hard swing, people. Wow. But no, that's
yeah, so I'm
fancy.
really excited for that. I will say
that the
not many
thumbnail?
speed golfers bring a driver anymore.
Really?
Because you can't hit it off the deck very well.
Oh, these look like they're from 1980s.
I need new irons, but
Titleist, where you at?
I will say too, they also get really beat up in speed golf. I mean, they're
That's-
always
yeah.
clamping around. But yeah, so I've got some Titleist irons here. But I generally take a 6-iron, 9-iron wedge. This is a 52, and a putter. So
6-iron, 9-iron. Okay.
yeah, so that
Lester,
fills most of the gaps for me. I'm on the higher end of number of clubs
Yes.
brought.
For 5, yeah, okay.
People and that is the way it's trending. People are using fewer and fewer clubs, getting rid of shedding weight.
So it's becoming more speed versus golf. Like how
It kind of goes back and forth. Like
It does.
someone will get hot who's really fast, and everyone kind of tries to copy that. And then I got decent for a while, and then everyone had the hook, and everyone went to more clubs and more golfy, and then it's gone the other way again. it's supposed to make it fun though. Like
Yeah.
you're your own inventor trying to shave every half second you can.
Yeah, and I've even seen when we went down to Orlando, and it was a really cool event down there. There was even prototypes for the all-in-ones, which it's got some kinks to still work out there. But it's just funny. It is interesting. People are trying to figure this out, and it could apply to. I mean, it doesn't have to be just speed golf.
Sure.
You know, there's other applications
Kicking
out there.
around and playing some.
But yeah. Wester, you still rocking the 5 clubs, or have you changed your concepts?
I've really dabbled with 3 and 4 of late, but
putter.
I don't know if I have the courage to do it in a tournament.
Okay.
But yeah, I go driver 5, 9, 60, and putter. Those are my 5 go-tos, and I always
60,
bring
with your weakness. You got a 60 in there. So
that's just my bread and butter.
I got you.
Yeah.
You just know how to dot
100
it.
in
You
like
can
that.
dot
Yes.
it.
That's
No,
what
you
I
have
need.
to-
And
you
gotta
have to
get
have
over
that.
Yeah,
the
you
That's
know,
your-
you are pretty
that's
impressive
your-
on that.
That's the only thing I can do is hit a wedge.
You do a lot of things well, but that's one of them. But I go back and forth with the bag setup because although it's cumbersome to bring a bag, there's so much value in putting with your clubs on you. One of the rules in speed golf is you cannot put your equipment on the green.
Yep.
So you have to find a way to putt with your clubs on you because running off the green to get your clubs is too costly.
Oh, it's
Time.
miserable.
Since
Times
I'm a
18.
professional, I really wanted to keep playing with my setup for both of you, for 2 reasons.
Okay.
All right. One, when you're doing wind sprints and have to touch the line, it's way worse bending over to touch the line than it staying upright. So my bag, when I played, I didn't have to bend over. I hit, put the club in, and ran because you're bending down, you're exhausting yourself. That's one thing. Yeah. 2, I love your clip idea, but I only had a pistol holster that day that I used. So I was doing the same thing. But I would love to see you guys try to have a bag that stands so you don't have to bend over.
I've tried.
And
It's the extra like pound
It's
pound
very
and a half
cumbersome.
feels like a million through 18 holes. It feels terrible.
It's
You would think it would be like nothing and negligible. Like how could that?
yeah. But
Well,
if there
for
was
all
a,
you inventors out there, someone's got to be able to come
wanna
up
keep
with.
A lot,
working.
a lot of
This is
people
me-
have
when I-
putt with one hand
in my spare
which
time, I'm
is hard.
Well, with how good you can putt, I mean that's strokes. That's tons of strokes.
Yeah,
That's
for
it.
me,
You don't
that
wanna
is
fall
a
in love,
no-brainer.
yeah.
Putting with 2 hands is so
Yeah,
much better than
yeah.
one.
You can't fall in love
We're
with
gonna-
chasing the time.
I think
'cause it's a shot.
I think we need to draw up something, but I think the bending over is your next minute or so. That's
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's all I got. But that was my 2 cents. You want to work on.
All right, we'll work on it.
Wes, I've been no hard hitting questions
No,
for the.
no.
I mean, I'm between. I can put out the arms here.
We even came in the same vehicle, so I really got to be softball up here.
All right. Well,
You can give me one if you want.
No, I won't. Would never. Would never. What do you have to say? Anything else for you?
I know. What's anything else on the mind? What's on the anything on the social? Anything you want to tell you have quite the following. Some of these videos blow up.
Thank you. I will say the social media thing over the last few weeks has been pretty wild and eye-opening.
And what are your handles? How can people follow you?
Yeah, so Instagram is my main platform. It's at SpeedGolfHer, H-E-R.
Get it?
Oh,
See what
Get
you
it?
did?
I see what you did there. Yeah.
But I'm also on Instagram with the same, or also on Twitter with the same handle.
How's TikTok?
I'm starting to dabble in
little
TikTok.
bit
I
of
need a little
TikTok.
bit of Morgan's help on that.
All right.
My gosh, she
Sure.
says you got to post once a day. I don't know if I have that much content, but
Yes.
I'm gonna try.
Yes.
need to.
You gotta
You
get
have
the
to.
reservoir.
So we
Yeah, you gotta
need you,
build it up.
Morgan. But no,
Build
the
it up.
social media thing
We
is
have a price
interesting.
for you. You know, we can do some social media guidance.
I need it.
I can follow you around all day.
Thank you.
But that one
Might
video,
not be as exciting as you
it
think.
was like our kind of first wintry day.
Oh yeah.
She's like, here, you want to go shoot a video? I'm like, really?
He's like, no.
So we did it in one take. It took us maybe 45 seconds.
Half a hole.
It was, I thought, kind of laughably bad. It was
So
just
we're
kind
not
of
talking about
dorky.
Scorsese
Right, and I went
stuff
back
here,
and
where-
forth, like, should I even post this? But it's kind of funny. It's a blizzard. So I'm just
But
kind of.
what does it have on Instagram? How many views?
It's got almost 1.2 million.
Man, if that was on TikTok, you'd be getting paid right now.
I know, no kidding. But it is amazing. You know,
It was just such a
before
random video.
right?
Like, it
kind of
was even-
before the speed golf thing, I didn't use social media for anything but keeping up with college buddies. So I'm still trying to figure out what works. But it is amazing that you win the U.S. Open and you get 1,500 views, and you do this silly snow video and 1.2 million, which really helps with everything, with followers and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to be a little more creative with my content, because just being good at something isn't good enough on social media.
Yeah.
That was a deep quote.
That was a deep quote.
Just being good at something isn't good enough.
It's not.
social
It's
media.
just winning and
timing,
is not. It's just not. It's not good enough to get the views.
Yeah.
I love that people are calling you out for not leaving the fairway.
Oh, the divot comments really really
those
got
true
me.
golfers out there,
For the record, I did go back and replace the divot, and the reason that I hit it fat was because Wes was right in front of me. If I hit it thin, it would have gone right to his jaw.
And I'm ugly enough, and she doesn't want to.
No, I had to
penalize
err on
herself.
that side to get it in
For all the haters out there for the golf courses, after every tournament, everybody goes back out and fills fills the divots, fixes the ball marks on the greens.
We try to
And
do more
generally,
than our share.
people are
Yes.
very conscious
Yes.
about
Yep.
taking care of the course. But a lot of, we're playing for money. We're playing for a person. So
Which that
a
rule
lot
has
of
changed people out there that are checking
yes,
for.
but a lot of times that's
professional
done. That's done after the fact. We go out and we make sure that we leave the course better than when we started.
Oh, and people are terrible. So everybody, the courses, the damage. I mean, you own a course,
Right.
People that. There's plenty of people beating the shit out of these courses
yeah.
that aren't speed golfing that have plenty of time to fix it, and they're not.
Most
So-
things do with carts.
And they have
Right.
Yeah, right.
Did you think it was a good idea to drive your cart there? Because
Because now it's 6 feet under. Yeah.
that's questionable. We're going to plant flowers around it because there's nothing else to do. It's down there. That is deep. Just be part of the course.
You've had a couple people in the water, haven't you, over there?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Couple of seasons.
It's probably two. We probably average 1.5 to a season. So yeah, 1 and a hook would be their Vegas line for carts in a pond or stream at Rome Country
There's a
Club
prop
per
bet.
year.
Last year was a really good one.
We also really usually put a mower in the water too once in a while,
You just
like 9 green or 6.
12 was a good one this year.
Skidding off because they can't.
You go to make that turn and
It just doesn't turn.
because they're ball tires.
Right, 'cause you don't wanna-
You just slide and
Keep on going.
the walk of shame is what it's called. When you gotta get off the mower because it's
That's
submerged.
not a good look.
Yeah, 14 Pond got a cart in it last year. That was down there. That was down there. We had
The one I was
we had
I was
about 10
refer-
people getting it out. That's during the Cup.
Oh, that's right. I was referencing the one on 10, but the one you're right. The one on 14 when people were in there.
Great photos of that one.
Oh, I'm getting the wrap up signal from a producer. So
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. That's enough. That's enough of divots.
no, so we got your social media out there.
Speak off her.
Speak off her. And we'll try to link some of those other videos because I think the coverage was amazing, which was really fun to watch over the time. And then sometime we'll get you back on here, get a little more banter between. Wes was pretty. He behaved.
He's so well behaved.
I
My
know.
talking to on the way over
If we
must
kept
really
these camera,
helped.
we kept these
Don't
cameras.
you embarrass me, Wes.
We keep these cameras rolling. You can see but thank you for joining us and putting up with our crap.
Oh,
But,
it's awesome.
It's
Thanks
been
so
fun
much
to follow.
for having me on. This is a really cool setup and really neat thing you guys do for the community.
Oh, thanks, Lauren. Talk to you soon.
Bye.